Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai go Haribo, Gaura Haribo. Nitai go Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram. Jaya Kodanitai, Maya Poshashi, Kodanitai, Maya Poshashi. Jaya Kodanitai, Maya Poshashi, Kodanitai, Maya Poshashi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bala 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 bala. Go. Hare Hare, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, follow. Hey, Rama. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Follow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whoa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Take it as a schneit. The field of Balaram Jayanti. Protects his devotees are very grateful to him and thankful to him. Sometimes it's been just such a good reputation. Ultimately, even if This is not necessarily true. Speak up to that they can do anything. Let's take a spiritual strength. That's however you do not act conscience, but act through false ego, not that's the spiritual strength. Strength of fear. This devotion serves back to you. Instructions. So not able to hear these instructions because people are so much trying to protect their false ego and we've cultivated some mistake. Thinking belong to this world. Some affection for it. Think about having them to see what it's doing. Spiritual understanding. You must be strong and need to fight in the next step. This balance, this strength is different. It's the spiritual strength. The difficulty of the spiritual strength is that actually we are never going to get the spiritual strength. We have no information of the spiritual strength. We are thinking of the spiritual strength and the spiritual strength. And the fact that the deck that has we are something it's false ego. Keeping particularly foolish. Shelter of the relevant gifts. Balaram, he's known as spiritual strength coming from you're going to take shackles and go so Balaram represents freedom. So much Indian culture and Western culture. We don't understand the global means. He's representing us. He's representing the message of our change. It's like a form of culture. Guru said in short, they are lying against his practice. The one who loves the Lord and says that he is very beautiful and also very serving. It's like no difference between Krishna and God. So this is Guru showing us how to serve the Guru. Serving my disciples and showing them how to serve. So the spiritual master thing is second capacity for the others to serve Krishna. Sometimes the spiritual masters will do anything. Strongly because strong words are required, otherwise the kids may just go astray, isn't it? Anybody experienced that as a child, that their parents told them quite strongly, told them off, and then you look back and you felt it was for your own good? Anybody? No? Some of you still holding grudge against your parents? Well, even sometimes the parents don't know what's best, but they do what they think is best. So, it's not a perfect example, but Krishna and Krishna's parampara, coming from Krishna, is they know what is best for the living entity because they are situated in pure devotion and service. So Lord Nityananda, he's considered to be supremely merciful, and he's understanding the whole world is suffering. So simply just take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and take these instructions. Follow Krishna Bhajo, Krishna Koro, Krishna Sikha, and in this way we can become free from our connection to this material world. And we make some sambandha nahija brita janma gelutar. So we make this connection with Lord Balaram, with Lord Nityananda. Then that connection, Lord Balaram, we make that connection through our own Guru. And on special days like this, we can pray to Lord Balaram directly, and we get so much special blessings. So there's some verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we would like to read. So just before I read these verses, so we just spoke of one song there, which is saying that Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna are none other than Gaura and Nityananda. So in the Dwapar Yuga, Krishna and Balaram appeared, and in Kali Yuga they also appeared. They appeared as Gauranga and Nityananda. So just like this picture here, It's showing you Ramananda Roy sitting here, and he's seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle, shaved renunciant, and Radha and Krishna on either side. So this verse, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya, means that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Radha and Krishna combined. And this was also foretold in the Atharva Veda, that in Kali Yuga, the Lord would appear as Chana Avatar, or covered incarnation, not Dal incarnation, covered incarnation, which means that he's known also sometimes as Tri Yuga. So in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga, he appears in the Bhagavan form of exhibiting pastimes and wielding weapons, etc. And Pratyanaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Chiduskritam, he will annihilate the miscreants, liberate the devotees in Dharma Samstapanartaya, Sambhavam Yuga Yuga. He will establish or re-establish the principles of religion. In the Kali Yuga, then his weapons are not the chakra and the gada, the disc and the club, but his weapons are kirtal and mridangas, Harinam Sankirtan, the devotees, and his weapon of love, unrestricted love for all living entities, and indiscriminately giving the Harinam, the holy name of the Lord, to everybody. This is his mission, because in Kali Yuga, we're short-lived. We don't have the capacity to understand the vast body of the Vedas and come to the right conclusion. So he says, just chant the holy names, Hari, Guru, Vaishnava, Bhagavad Gita. So have faith in Hari and the Guru, the Vaishnavas, the Bhagavatam and the Gita. And this way our life can be perfect. So just as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Sri Krishna, Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Radharani is supremely compassionate, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he appears in this form. He's Krishna, but he's in the mood of Radharani, exhibiting great compassion. Previously, Lord Krishna says, Sarvadharma Parityaja, first you surrender, and then we'll talk about giving you shelter. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, don't even bother surrendering, you just chant the holy name. This is a surrender. Because even in Kali Yuga, just to chant some japa or chant some kirtan can be a bit of a surrender. So in the Adi Leela, it's also mentioned about the glories of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's mentioned about the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the glories of Lord Nityananda, who is Lord Balaram. Vande Nanta Bhutaishwaryam Srinityananda Ishwaram Yasye Chaya Tatswarupam Agenapi Nirupyate. So let me offer my obeisances to Lord Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. So I'll just skip the Bengali and Sanskrit. So previously, Krishnadas Kaviraj had described the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and now he's going to describe the glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. So this is Swayam Bhagavan. He's the fountainhead of all incarnations. And Dvitiya Deha, he's the second body. Prabhupada says in the purport, Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the primeval Lord, the original form of Godhead, and his first expansion is Sri Balaram. The personality of Godhead can expand himself in innumerable forms. The forms that have unlimited potency are called Swamsa, and forms that have limited potency as a living entity are called, correct, top of the class, Vibhinamsa. So these two, Krishna and Balaram, they are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So Lord Balaram expands his different paraphernalia of the Lord. So this Balaram is a Swamsa expansion, and therefore there's no difference in potency between Krishna and Balaram. And he's the first expansion of Godhead, and the chief deity amongst the first quadruple forms. So the quadruple forms are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Now sometimes people, they think, Krishna is coming from Vishnu, but according to this, This quadruple expansions are coming from Balaram, who's coming from Krishna. The original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Say Krishna Navadvipi Sri Chaitanya Chandra, Say Balarama Sangi Sri Nityananda. The original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. So may Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankashan, Seshanag, and the Vishnus who lie in the Karna ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Lord Balaram is the original Sankashan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of Krishna, of creation in 4 other forms. So we can discuss more about this later, but you can find all about this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, descriptions of Lord Balaram and Lord Nityananda are described. Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Kodnitama Pishashi ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Govinda ki.
Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Navajiya Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Navajiya Janiya Suniya Vishakainu Ya Suniya Vishakainu Janiya Suniya Vishakainu Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana Golokera Premadana Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana Ratina Jani Lokenatai Ina Jani Lokenatai Ratina Jani Lokenatai Samsara Pishanale Tipani Shihya Jwale Pishanale Tipani Shihya Jwale Samsara Pishanale Tipani Shihya Jwale Nabishanale Dipati Shihya Twari Jurai Tena Koino Pai Pai Jurai Tena Koino Pai Rajanjanandana Jai Sachi Tsuta Hoilo Se Rajanjanandana Jai Sachi Tsuta Hoilo Se Balaram Hoilo Ni Tai Rama Hoilo Ni Tai Balaram Hoilo Ni Tai Dina Hina Chata Chilo Hari Nama Udadiro Dina Hina Chata Chilo Hari Nama Udadiro Tada Sachi Jagai Matai Sijagana Matai Tada Sachi Jagai Matai Ha Prabhu Kanta Sutta Kika Ha Prabhu Santa Sutta Vishabhanu Sutta Jutta Ha Prabhu Santa Sutta Vishabhanu Sutta Jutta Karuna Koroi Paro Koruna Koroi Paro Nada tama dasakoi netali horanga poi. Nada tama dasakoi natali horanga poi. Toma bine ke ache amara. Toma bine ke ache amara. Hari hari vipane janama koinalu. Hari hari vipala janame koinalu. Manusha janama paya Radha Krishna Bhajai Radha Jagadana Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya. Janiya Suniya Bishakainu Ya Suniya Bishakainu Janiya Suniya Bishakainu. Hari hari vipale janama gonaino.
Day and night my heart burns from the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not taken the means to believe it. Lord Krishna, who was the son of the king of Braj, became the son of Sachi, Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all these souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madaya, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Brishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottam Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Would you like to sing bhajan? The thing is, we already planned the program very well. If you know us, if you let us know next time in advance, then we can do it. Thank you very much for understanding. So, what I would like to speak for a few minutes is about the demons that Balaram kills, because it was Prabhupada Prana Prabhu mentioned that the demons that Krishna and Balaram kill represent impurities in our heart. And those impurities are actually the main obstacle for us to experience spiritual bliss and happiness. And sometimes it can be a little bit daunting. First thing, when we start our spiritual journey, we may not be so much aware that these things exist in our heart. Things like anger and greed and envy and illusion and madness. We may not have full awareness of it. And as we practice, we may become very painfully aware as we go on in our spiritual journey. And in the beginning, may seem it's gonna disappear in maybe a few days or a few weeks or a few months. And then sometimes it may seem that it may never disappear. So therefore, finding appropriate means to deal and like a strategies to deal with those challenges in the heart and shortcuts even, because in this age of Kali, we like to find some shortcut that can help us to deal with the challenge. And actually, I found a shortcut. I would like to share with you tonight a shortcut that it can really, really help you to overcome those challenges. So there are this mystical and secret way to cut short the impurities in the heart is actually Krishna's pastimes, Krishna Lila. And Prabhupada so much encouraged for us to read and hear Krishna book on a daily basis. Actually, is suggested even before bed to gather and read. And we actually have a little club here that has been started at Karuna Bhavan, that before bed they gather and read. And of course, you may not be able to make it to that club on a daily basis. However, you can start your own club back at home, whether it's just yourself or with your, spouse, children. You can gather together and read Krishna book a few pages. It's very, very nourishing and relishing. And actually, interestingly enough, it really accelerates this cleansing of the heart, because in Krishna Lila, there are two types of pastimes. One type of pastime is called Nitya Lila. That's eternal pastimes. Exactly the same pastimes that Krishna performs here, they are also going on in the spiritual world. Things like interactions with Krishna tending the cows, playing with cowherd boys, his interactions with the gopis, with Mother Yashoda, with Nanda Maharaj. All these activities are activities of spiritual world that takes place eternally. And actually, this is one of the main motivating factors for us that we can become part. Actually, we're doing another event in the garden. In the garden, where we do the festival colors. No, it's okay. So that's the main motivational factor. Sometimes we even lack motivation to cleanse the heart because it seems to be a big task. And anything that seems to be a bit daunting and challenging, we actually prefer to avoid and not do it, or kind of brush it under the carpet. And, personally speaking, putting tilak or putting the dhoti on, and then considering that I'm become a saint now. At least this was what I did, for quite a few years, trying to do something about it now. So something that is challenging, we try to somehow avoid and not do it. So if we can find a good way to do it, an easy way to do it, then it makes a lot of easier. So this is quite an effortless task. Is it difficult to gather together and read a book? It's not a big thing to do that. So you can do at home, with family, with children, with spouse, or sometimes you can join our club as well. We have a club that meets practically every day to read Krishna book. So So now those eternal pastimes can be very motivating for us, because it's very beautiful. If you really read and absorb in those pastimes, you actually start feeling like you would like to be a part of it. You're thinking Krishna is having a really great time. And those devotees, the gopis and the gopas, they're actually having a really wonderful time. Of course, we're not speaking about demons at the moment. We're speaking about in between. In between the demons, it's very, very attractive. It's very sweet. It's very nourishing. And there's so many beautiful, loving exchanges that happens between those devotees and Krishna. Therefore, we slowly but surely you become attracted. If you continue reading Krishna book, desire will start awakening that I actually would like to be part of this. And that can really awaken our desire. Sometimes the desire can become dormant due to the challenges that I mentioned. You can be very enthusiastic in the beginning, but that desire may kind of start fading away when we realize that we have a lot of work to do. We're thinking maybe in the next life, or maybe in the next life, or maybe in a few lifetimes. Kind of can happen almost unconsciously, actually. Personally speaking, it almost can happen like we, without um, even planning or thinking about it. This is like in the background of the mind. We're thinking, actually, I don't think it's gonna happen because it's too much work to do. But if we listen to Krishna's pastimes, we can become attracted. And when we really want something, like, if you look in our life, if we find something that we really want, we actually prepare to do some work to get it, isn't it? Whatever the case could be, like today, quite a few people maybe like to get ice cream, but you have to go to the shop, you have to have some money, you have to work actually, etc. So when we want something, we prepare to make an effort to do it. So by reading these beautiful passages of Krishna, we may become really attracted and we think, actually, I really want this. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I really, really want this. I can ask Alan, could you guide our guests to tier 2, where the band is? Uh, there's a gentleman coming to gonna guide you to the place. Here we have a lot of events happening at the same time. So when that desire awakens, then we maybe prepare to do a little bit of work. And this is the second part of Krishna's pastimes, is called Naimitika Lila. So these are the pastimes that are considered temporarily. They're not happening in the spiritual world, but they're happening here in the material world. And those pastimes is when Krishna kills the demons. Each demon represents an impurity in our heart. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Shri Shikshamrita has explained each and every demon, what kind of anartha it represents. So the good news for all of us is that the demons that Krishna kills, simply by hearing the pastimes, mainly those demons and impurities becomes cleansed from the heart, simply by reading Krishna killing those demons again and again and again, and praying to Krishna to remove those impurities represented by demons in our heart. They become vanished without like a very, very big effort. The effort that we need to make is to actually hear those pastimes, read it together with the devotees, an association of devotees, hear it from self-realized souls, those pastimes. Then, without massive, huge effort, it will start be removed from the heart. And we would like to encourage you to make an experiment and do that at home until Janmashtami. I'd like to encourage you to do this experiment until Janmashtami, which is exactly in 7 days. So asking you to do a 7 days experiment. If you don't have a Krishna book, you can obtain it from us from the shop today. And every day gather for 7 days and read those pastimes of Krishna killing demons and pray to the Lord and see what happens by the end of 7 days. I'm convinced you won't like to stop after that. You'll feel a big benefit. But there are two demons that is killed by Balaram. Actually, more demons, but specifically is emphasized two demons: Danakasura and Pralambasura. So these require a little bit of work from us. But by feeling the change in the heart, that can motivate us as well to do a bit of work as well. And also it removes and clears the path for us to be able to do the work. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that those who become purified from reactions of past life, they gain determination to be able to go forward in Krishna consciousness. So one of the demons I like to mention is Denakasura, that represents ass-like ignorance. You know, ass is very, very determined to be an ass. Prabhupada used this thing, this analogy that he's actually a great philosopher. He makes this noise, "ee-ah," and is speaking the philosophy and sharing with others, but it's not very attractive. It doesn't attract many people to listen to him, but it likes to share it as much as it can. So we can be actually like that, at least personally speaking. Maybe not yourself, it doesn't apply to yourself, but it definitely applies to me. We can be very, very determined and ignorant in our spiritual endeavors. We doubt everything, various concepts of Krishna consciousness, that we are the soul, we are spirit. We doubt if the spiritual world is existing. And it's like a very determinedly. And often the doubt can be even blind. Like we blindly doubt without much reason, just because we've become accustomed in this material world to doubt everything. It starts actually from Aristotle. He planted in the Western philosophy the seed of doubt, that actually blindly doubting everything is considered intelligence. So of course we don't want to be fools and accept anything blindly, but the same thing, to reject something blindly without considering, it goes in exactly the same category. The blind following and blind rejection is exactly the same thing, just a different side of the same coin. So how do we deal with doubt? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the doubts that has arisen in your heart should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga or bharata, stand and fight. So therefore, we can fight this ignorance, and that is required. Our effort is to very carefully and regularly study Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And that will actually start destroying the doubts, and very carefully chant the holy name. And also, Balaram principle is Balaram presents the spiritual master. So actually, we need to find our purpose and our mission as well in the Krishna consciousness movement, and that comes through Guru Parampara to disciplic succession. And by executing that mission, we gain the mercy and strength represented by Balaram and Bala to actually overcome that ignorance. So we are studying and hearing. We are also trying to assimilate that knowledge, but also there's a practical side to it, that we find our mission and purpose in whatever small or big way we can contribute. And that will help us to kill this Denakasura of ass-like ignorance in our heart, and it also includes ass-like intelligence, ass-like behavior, and like stubbornness. There's also like we can be positively determined, but also we can be ignorantly determined, which is called like stubbornness, like a ignorantly, stubbornly not accepting the greatest gift that has been given to us through Guru Parampara. So, and also studying and hearing this pastime about the Nakasura, that also help us to change, because it's also the same energy. Being determined and being stubborn is a similar energy, but one is expressed in an ignorant way and another is expressed in mode of goodness way. So if you can purify that ignorance, the very same energy becomes transformed into determination and to push forward in our Krishna consciousness to make another step in our spiritual life. And then another demon is called Pralambasura. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that this is a lusty attraction to opposite sex, greed for money, desire for sense gratification, inclination for increasing one's honor and false prestige, the desire for being worshipped. So these are very strong obstacles and very difficult to overcome. But if one understands that they are very detrimental for one's development in Krishna consciousness, one will try very enthusiastically to cast them out. So it's so easy to change that conception, because these things are very attractive for a conditioned soul. Attraction to opposite sex, wealth and sense gratification, and various types of prestige, adoration, distinction, is because we kind of subconsciously want it, being in the center of attention. We subconsciously want these things. But again, so this is leads, as you can see, this Dhenakasura, the removal of ignorance, it leads into also further understanding that these things are not favorable for our spiritual life. Because that ignorance becomes removed, then some attraction, more attraction develops for this ultimate goal of Krishna. We're starting to understand that Krishna, because ignorance is no more there, we started to understand a little bit how Krishna is wonderful, how Krishna is attractive. Then we want to overcome even those things that are, kind of sensually very pleasurable. Uh, Therefore, we can then desire to overcome this and make an effort. And again, the mercy of spiritual master is required. So these two things require some mercy of Guru and also careful study of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, which is also instruction of spiritual master and instruction of Guru, is to study very, very carefully these teachings and understand what are the anarthas. And then when you understand what is to be removed, then you can remove it. Just like in gardening, if you know what is the weed and what is the plant, you can remove the weed and leave the plant. But sometimes we are removing the plant and leaving the weed. uh, so that's one of the most important lessons, is to discriminate what is the weed and what is to be nourished, and what needs to be watered. So through that study and also hearing from spiritual master and finding the mission, finding the purpose for us, how we can contribute to helping this mission, then these things can be removed from our heart. So are there any questions on this, or comments, anything to add or share? Yes, anybody could pass, pass the mic.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice session. Just a quick question. How do you mentioned about the material, whether we are against with money, or how do you balance your duties? How do you find the balance between your duties, where you will have to have your job and have your wealth requirements and your spirituality? How do we find that balance?
Yeah, I think that is a good question. Often we see those two things as a separate, like a spirituality and our duties in life, it seems like these two different things. I do this material thing and work and the shopping and earning money, paying the bills, paying the mortgage, and etc. It seems to be like a one thing, and then our spiritual thing, like we're chanting, we're going to the temple. Maybe it takes, like a few hours, in a week or something. However, it can be our material activities can be spiritualized, and that also can become service. And that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness and Bhakti Yoga, that everything what we do can become connected with Krishna. And when there is a connection with Krishna, there is just a material activity is karma, and it brings like a good or bad result. But when there is a connection with Krishna, that becomes karma yoga. Karma yoga only starts at the point when there is a connection with Krishna. And karma yoga, it leads to bhakti yoga. Then the difference is that karma yoga means after you did the activity, you offer it to Krishna or some of it. And bhakti yoga means before you do activity, you offer it to Krishna. So the karma yoga slowly but surely leads us into that consciousness and motivation to do everything for Krishna. So that's how we spiritualize our activities. That whether it's mortgage, you need a roof over the head. That can become a place where you have a temple room, where you buy boga to offer to the Lord, and you cook, and where you invite devotees to visit. And then everything becomes completely spiritualized and meaningful. Is there anything else? Okay.
Directly related to what you were just saying, but something that Prabhupada Prana was saying earlier. When I was reading today in Krishna book, sometimes at the head of the chapter it said Krishna kills this demon, and then other times it says Krishna liberates this demon.
Mhm.
Is there any significance in the chapters where Krishna's saying kill and liberate, or is it just that they're interchangeable terms and they're used by Srila Prabhupada, one to mean the same as the other?
Yes, it is interchangeable because all the demons get liberated. However, their destination can differ. Some of them merged in Krishna's body if they're very inimical. Some of them actually attain the Vaikuntha liberation, going back to Vaikuntha, often depending on their actual attitude and the mood is so significant, that even the demon may have a, completely wrong attitude, and sometimes the attitude can be reasonable, that can lead them to, it can lead them to some positive destination. Like for example, Putana, she wanted to kill Krishna in the last life, but also she was very attracted to him as a small boy. She had a motherly affection um, to Krishna, and therefore in the next life, Krishna extracted that good thing. So sometimes we may have like a negative feeling to Krishna, but also we need to try to cultivate some positive feelings, and that can lead us to, like Putana as achieved liberation in Goloka Vrindavan, become like an assistant to nurse of Krishna. So I hope that answers your question. And
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So stop here. So next we'll have a Gora Arati. So we like to everybody to help us out with putting the mats away and the chairs. If your health is not allowing you to stand up, then maybe you can sit down in a bag, and you have some space for others to take part in Arati. Krishna Balaram ki jai. And please don't forget your homework about starting a Krishna club, reading a Krishna book at your home.
Kimanjayo Jaya Gora Chande Aruti Koso Oh Jaya Gora Chande Aruti Koso Deva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Aruti Koso Oh Jaya Chande Aruti Koso Navichatavam Jagamanaloba Navichatavam Jagamanaloba Navichatavam Jagamanaloba Navichatavam Agam Yakini Chan Amigada Yakini Chan Amigada Yakini Chan Dake Chan Advaita Shri Matsa Chatradara Advaita Shri Matsa Chatradara Nekati Advaita Shri Matsa Chatradara Advaita Matsa Chatradara Oti Orachan Simhasan Yache Gorachan Ratna Simhasan Oti Yache Orachan Ratna Simhasan Yache Orachan Ratna Simhasan Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Deva Hari Adi Kore Shamaradulaya Hari Adi Kore Chamaradula Nara Hari Hari Kore Chamaradula Jara Hari Hari Kore Chamaradula Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Kosadikaya Sanjaya Mukunda Kosadikaya Sankabaje Gantabaje Mother Sankabaje Gantabaje Madur 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 Baje Sankabaje Gantabaje Madur 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 Baje Baje Gantabaje Madur 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 Baje Sankabaje Gantabaje Madur 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 Baje Gantabaje Madur Madur Ma Nitagora Haribo 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 Nitagora Haribo Nitagora Oh Haribo Haribo Nitagora Hari Nitagora Haribo 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 Nitagora Haribo 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 Nitagora Haribo Sankabaje Gantabaje Vachi Karata Sankabaje Gantabaje Vachi Karata Sankabaje Gantabaje Vachi Karata Sankabaje Gantabaje Vachi Karata Madhuramardanga-baji Paramarasala Madhuramardanga-baji Paramarasala Madhuramardanga-baji Paramarasala Merdanga-baji Paramarasala Bahukote Chandrajini Padana Utpala Bahukote Chandrajini Padana Utpala Bahukote Chandrajini Padana Utpala Kote Chandrajini Padana Utpala Kala Deshi Banamala Kore Jalamala Kala Deshi Banamala Kore Jalamala Shiva Sukanaradam Premigadaga Shiva Sukanaradam Premigadaga Shiva Sukha Narada Premigadaga Shiva Sukha Narada Daga Akate Vinoda Deke Gurara Sampada Kate Vinoda Deke Gurara Sampada Bhakati Vinoda Deke Gorara Sampada Noda Deke Gorara Sampada Sanka Baji Ganta Baji Madur 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 Baji Baji Ganta Baji Madur, Madur, Madur Baji, Sanka Baji, Ganta Baji, Madur, Madur, Madur Baji, Baji, Ganta Baji, Madur. Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Haribo. Haribo, Nitagora, Nitagora, Haribo, 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 Nitagora, Haribo, Nitagora, Haribo, 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 Nitagora, Haribo. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kusaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Ihikanta Swami Nityanamine Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kusaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Nidanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasisa Sunyavadi Asacha Desa Tarine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesa Sunyavadi Asacha Tarine Shri Krishna Shri Tanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Tanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Shiva Sari Gaurabhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga 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 Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Nita 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 Gauranga Nita 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 Gauranga Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nanda he Gauranga he Nita 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 Gauranga Nita 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 Gauranga Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nita 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 Gauranga Nita 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 Gauranga Nita 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 Gauranga Nita Nita Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Nita 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 Gauranga Nita 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 Gauranga Nita 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 Gauranga Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Nityananda he Gauranga he Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Jaya Koranitai Maya Potache Koranitai Jaya Maya Potache Maya Potache Koranitai Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya 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 Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Haribhajakacharya Astam Shishimananda Jai Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Sad Goswami Bhagavad Ki Jai Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Vasa Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Bhagavatam Shamata Ramata Diga Vidam Ki Jai Bhagavan Gurumai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Balaram Mahamahotsav Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Prem Hari All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaur. Singaya Kalada Lada Jaya Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Shila Tankana Kalaye Ito Nisingha Padato Nisingha Yato Yato Yamitato Nisingha Raihe Nisingha Hidaye Nisingha Nasingamadim Shalana Prapade Kavatara Kamala Hare Naka Ajuta Shringa Dalita Iranya Kashipu Anubringa Deshavadrita Narari Rupa Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Tavatara Nata Madhutta Singha Lalita Hiranyakasipo Tanubringa Eshavadrita Jaya Jagadisha Keshavadrita Narari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimhare 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 Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Yo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Hariba 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 Gora Hariba 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 Nitya Gora Hariba Ki Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi Hari Bol. Announcement. Prashant has been cancelled due to lack of interest. But there is a test course just about to be almost done. So we've got a special offer on right now since the 22nd. And for those of you that would like some prashant, they'll be getting served. They'll be getting served in Madhu's garden. So if you're Madhu's friend, you're fine. Well, if you're friends with